Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Football. Welcome to the Match Day 3 Fantasy UCL Fantasy Tips show. So, in this one, I will be going through how my team is looking right now, which transfers I'm looking to make before the deadline, and also finally, the captain picks, not finally, but the captain picks for this week, and then finally, the match predictions for this week for every single game at the end. So, let's get started without wasting any more time. All the links in the description if you want to join the league, if you want to join the Patreon, if you want to join the prediction league, and all the links in the description. So let's get to it, and I'll tell you. Let's start by telling you guys how my team is looking, or showing you guys how my team is looking and which transfers I'm looking to make. So in goal, I currently have Ramiro starting for me on Tuesday up against Benfica. I don't necessarily expect a clean sheet from that, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised. Benfica have not been doing great in the Champions League so far this season, so I'd not be surprised if that ended in a 0-0, but I'm expecting both teams to score in that one. So hopefully, considering it is being played at Benfica, hopefully they can take a few shots and Ramiro can get us a few save points. But if he doesn't return anything, obviously I have another defender on another goalkeeper on the bench. In terms of the back four, let me actually tell you which goalkeeper I have on the bench. If you watch the team selection video, you'd know I have Blasic on the bench. That is a Leipzig goalkeeper. And then defensively, I currently have Alphonso Davies up against Galatasaray. I mentioned it in the team selection video. I don't really like that pick. I mean, this is the same team I had in match day 1. I played my limitless in match day 2. And in match day 3, I get my match day 1 team. But in match day 1, I was so happy this team, the likes of Alphonso Davies, but he hasn't delivered so far in the Champions League. But I think considering I have other things to deal with, like Lewandowski being injured, I think I might end up leaving him in my team. Hendricks is also in my side alongside Rome. So that means 2 Leipzig defenders and their goalkeeper. So that is a very that's very brave. I had them in match day 1, but in match day 3, up against Red Star Belgrade, listen, if they do keep a clean sheet, that would be absolutely iconic. I usually prefer, if you're going for a triple up, the players are playing on Tuesday, but the problem is this time around, Leipzig will be playing on Wednesday. So hopefully Ramiro does deliver my goalkeeper and I don't have to bring in Blasic so that I can go with Hendricks and Rom. Both of them are very good attacking-wise as well. They can get assists and goals and obviously recovery points. So even if they don't keep a clean sheet, you could be looking at 5-6 points minimum. Christensen is also in my team. If I was picking my team today, I'd find a way to get Cancelo instead of Christensen. I might still be able to get in Cancelo, especially if I take Lewandowski out for a cheaper striker. That could be a place I can go, but that means a double up on Barcelona, which will be interesting. Already have a triple up on Leipzig's defenders. So if things go wrong and they both concede 2 goals, then it will be a very it will impact my team negatively. On the bench, I have Nathan Ake. He didn't start in the last Premier League game for Man City, so hopefully he does start in this one. It's very cheap way to get into the Man City defense. Midfield wise, I currently have Bellingham. As you can see, is currently my captain. That might change. I will decide what to do with that one. Martin Odegaard in my midfield as well, away at Sevilla. That is a very tough fixture for Arsenal. But then again, considering the next 2 games are Sevilla at home and Lens at home, I'm planning to play my wildcard in either match day 4 or 5, depending on how match day 3 goes. If match day 3 goes well, I'll keep the same team for match day 4 and then play the wildcard in match day 5, 6. So I don't necessarily want to take out the likes of Bellingham and Odegaard when they have Braga at home and Sevilla at home in the next match day. Thuram is also in my team. Disappointed me in match day 1. I played my limitless in match day 2. I didn't have him in match day 2. He scored. In match day 1, he didn't do anything. Match day 2, he delivered. Match day 3, hopefully he does deliver as well at home to Salzburg. This time, good thing we get to see their team news. So that we get to see their teams before the deadline hits on Tuesday. So if he's on the bench, then I might take him out again, depending on who starts and which other players I am going to go for. On the bench, in terms of midfielders, I currently have Doku. Again, if I was picking my Man City players right now, I probably wouldn't have Doku because he started the last game for Man City. But in the Champions League against Leipzig, he actually scored. So hopefully does start in this one because that is a very good fixture. So if you pick the correct Man City players there, that could be 3 or 4 goals for them. So let's say you have Foden and Grealish and they both start, you're looking at a lot of points. But if you have Foden and Grealish and they don't start, and you have Doku or someone like an Alvarez or Haaland, I think there's a lot of points there. I also have Quentin Timber playing against Lazio, another player who might end up leaving my team depending on which players start tomorrow for Bayern Munich and Inter Milan. Timber could be the one leaving. And then up front, I currently have Harry Kane, definitely going to stay in my team. Erling Haaland, definitely going to stay in my team as well. And then Lewandowski is currently injured. I'm waiting until very early on Tuesday. If it's definitely confirmed that he's out, which I think he will be out, I will be changing him to a different striker. Depending, I have like 3 or 4 options. I'm looking at going directly to Joao Felix's teammate. I've even thought of probably removing Ake and going with Alvarez instead up front and doubling up on the attack and tripling up alongside Doku as well. I have thought about maybe Højlund from Man United has a good game against Copenhagen, so I have thought about all that, but I will decide later on tomorrow. So Lewandowski is definitely going out of my team if he's confirmed to be out tomorrow. I think it's basically 90% out as of now. So that is how my team is looking. There will be changes before the deadline, so make sure to join me for the deadline stream. The link is in the description as well. So let me know, have you made your changes? Are you playing your wildcard this week? Are you playing your limitless this week? I've already done videos for that. You can check the page for those if you had ideas on the wildcard and the limitless as well. But that is how my team is looking. Next up, let's go to the captain picks. Which captains am I thinking for this week? So I will give you couple of captains for Tuesday and a differential for Tuesday, and a couple of captains on Wednesday and a differential. So if we start with the Tuesday games, we have Galatasaray, Bayern, Inter Milan, Salzburg. I think Real Madrid also have a good fixture against Braga, although it is away from home. Man United have a decent game at home to Copenhagen, but the problem with Man United, I don't even have any of their players in FPL, and I've seen a lot of people being disappointed by the likes of Rashford and Højlund and Bruno. I think he got an assist the other day, but they have been disappointing a lot, and they've played the likes of Sheffield and Nottingham and all those teams, but they haven't really delivered. So he might go for my netted play, and then that game ends 1-1 and McTominay scores. You don't really want that kind of situation. So for me, I'm going to avoid that game. I'm going to say Tuesday, good captains. I'm going to start with Kane, because Kane always scores for his country, for Bayern Munich, and they're playing Galatasaray away from home. It's not an easy fixture, but I'm taking into consideration Copenhagen went to Galatasaray in match day 1 and scored twice, and Man United also scored twice against Galatasaray in match day 2, despite although it was at Man United's place, but they looked open a couple of times. Man United could have had 3 or 4 goals, like if they had the finishing touch on that day. So if you give Kane those chances, if you give him a penalty, he can score. So I'm going to go for Kane as a captain on Tuesday, and also Bellingham on Tuesday up against Braga. Bellingham gets player of the match, he scores, he assists. We've talked about him a lot already this season. And then in terms of differentials on Tuesday, very, very hard, but I feel like Napoli could do well away at Union Berlin, and I feel like Inter Milan can get something against Salzburg. So I am probably going to say I'm going to tip Kvaratskhelia away at Union Berlin for this match day. Union Berlin also, I think, third from last or something, and fourth from last in Bundesliga. They're not doing well at all. And if I'm not wrong, they've just recently lost 3-0 to Stuttgart. So Union Berlin are conceding a lot of goals. So there's that as well. And Napoli have kind of picked up form a couple of games. On Wednesday, I would say the best captains for Wednesday, potentially Man City, Haaland against Young Boys. There is a Manchester derby on the weekend, so it depends on how many minutes they play. But Haaland is not going to blank every single day. He's going to score. I feel like he's going to score a brace or a hat-trick somewhere. So I'm going to tip Haaland for that match day. And also Joao Felix up against Shakhtar. And then a differential, maybe a Leipzig player like a Xavi Simons against Red Star Belgrade. So those are my captain picks for this match day. There's a lot of other fixtures that I've not talked about that you could have differentials, like Newcastle against Dortmund. Newcastle are scoring a lot of goals. The likes of Isaac could be options. He was on the bench for this past week for Newcastle. He could be starting in this one. If you're feeling brave, Højlund against Copenhagen for Man United. If you're feeling even braver, Vinicius up against Braga. There's a lot of different captain picks, maybe Lautaro Martinez for Inter Milan. There is a lot. So that is the team selection, what I'm thinking of doing, and the captain picks. Next up, let's go to my match day 3 predictions, which could help you decide on which players you're going to bring in and which players you are going to captain. So here are my predictions for match day 3. The first game, Inter Milan against Salzburg, I have gone for a 2-1 win. A majority of people on the app are expecting, on the website, are expecting a 2-0 victory for Inter Milan, but I feel like Salzburg could get a goal, so I'm going to go for 2-1. I've gone for a high-scoring game between Galatasaray and Bayern Munich. There was a high-scoring game between Bayern Munich and Man United, Galatasaray and Man United, Galatasaray and Copenhagen, and also Bayern Munich and Copenhagen. So in this group, there's been a lot of goals, and I'm going to go for the same. There's not many people have predicted a 3-2. Majority of people are going for 3-1. 2-1, 3-0, but I'm going to go for Galatasaray 2, Bayern Munich 3. That's why I'm not really convinced about having Alphonso Davies in my team. Next up, I'm going to go for Benfica 1, Real Sociedad 1 in that one. And then Union Berlin against Napoli, 3-2 win for Napoli. I feel like Union Berlin are going to be heartbroken again, just like they did against Braga in the last game. I can see them scoring 2 goals, but Napoli scoring a late winner, 3-2. Real Madrid, Braga 2-1. I've put that as my boost, my active boost for double points. I feel like that is one I'm almost 100% certain that could change. I feel like the Napoli one could be a game to go for as well. I've gone for PSV to beat Lens 2-1. That will be Lens' first defeat in the group. They've been looking okay so far. They've beaten Arsenal and they've drawn with Sevilla. Sevilla, I've gone for Arsenal to beat Sevilla by 2-1. Majority of the people are going for that as well, 30%. I've gone for Man United to beat Copenhagen 3-2. As I say, that group, a lot of goals so far. So I'm going to stick with the same 3-2 to Man United. Lots of people going for 2-0 and 3-0. Barcelona 3, Shakhtar 0 for me. That is what many people have predicted. Feyenoord, Lazio have gone for 2-2. Maybe I've gone for too many goals, but a lot of people are saying 1-1, 0-0, but I'm going to go for 2-2. I've gone for FC Porto to beat Royal Antwerp by 2-1. Man City to beat Young Boys by 3-1. I haven't gone for 5-6 goals, but as you can see, a lot of people are saying 4-0, 3-0, 5-0. Many people are expecting it to be even more comfortable. And then Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade have gone for 3-0. Majority of people are going for 2-0. I can see Leipzig hopefully keeping a clean sheet. If that actually turns out to be the result, with my Leipzig triple up, that could be great. Newcastle 3, Dortmund 2. I think that is going to be an entertaining game. Newcastle are really entertaining in terms of goals this season. PSG, AC Milan, I'm going to go for 3-2. AC Milan games have both been 0-0 this season, so maybe I've gone a bit too high there, but I feel like this game they're going to have a few goals. And then lastly, I've gone for Atletico Madrid to beat Celtic 2-1. That is the second most popular prediction for this game. Many people have gone for Atletico Madrid to win that one by 2-1. So that is the Match Day 3 tip show. Those are my predictions. I've given you my team selection earlier and my carton picks as well. Join me for the deadline stream on Tuesday. Let me know which questions you have in the comment section. Hit the like button as always. I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.